Hello, welcome back to Big Trouble in Little Podcast. This is episode 322. I'm Andy.
I'm Chaz.
I'm Joe Dubs.
I'm Zach.
And this is the first week in the month of May. We're celebrating McConaughey, which apparently is the month when we watch Jodie Foster movies. Dubs, you chose Contact. Why'd you choose Contact?
Because Matthew McConaughey is in this movie.
He is in it. That's true.
For about I would say
he's in 2/3 of it.
Yeah, he's in a fair amount of it. I'm not saying he's not in it at all, but
I chose this movie because it's one of my favorite science fiction movies of all time. Mm-hmm. It also I have the book Contact with Carl Sagan, which I haven't read yet, by the way, but I've heard it's been adapted for this movie, but obviously different from the book.
Wait, it's written by Carl Sagan?
I believe so.
Sagan. He wrote a fiction? That's weird. I didn't know that.
He co-wrote it with someone. I forgot her name. I'm guessing it was probably someone who has faith because Carl Sagan is a scientist. But I chose this movie also because this is the first ever Matthew McConaughey movie that I ever saw in my entire life.
Uh-huh.
So this is how I was introduced by him, as he was a ex-priest that went to divinity school and wanted to bang. So he's like, I like God still, but I love fucking.
Yeah, I was confused by that. Like at first I thought he was ungodded, and then he was like, no, I'm still all about God, I guess. And then...
Mm-hmm. This movie is written really well, in my opinion. Maybe you guys have different opinions on that. The CGI has definitely dated.
Yes, badly.
Yes. There is some cool shots in this movie. The one when she was a child and her dad had a heart failure thing, whatever, and she was running towards the medicine cabinet. The shot was looking at the mirror.
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
Yeah, I actually like that one. And I also like the ones where she's sitting near the fucking the desert background and shit, and just, in her cool ass car, her convertible and stuff.
It's her dad's car.
Yeah. And I just love the concept about this movie is not oh my God, it's not like Independence Day, or they obviously they have the conversation about it being hostile, but it's also these aliens are not hostile. They just want to communicate. And it's funny that the communication they use is fucking Hitler. And the government's going fucking crazy about it.
It's the first recording they got, I guess, which is interesting. I didn't know that. That was an interesting fun fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm more interested in what you guys, because usually when I pick a movie, especially when I say, for example, when I had my little breaks, I go, watch Suburban Commando. I love this movie as a kid. And then you guys just shit on it. So I'm just kind of wondering what.
This is a very you movie. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, that makes sense that Dubs would like this movie. It reminded me of Interstellar in more than one way. Mm-hmm. And I know that you're smitten with that movie. As am I. Interstellar kicks ass. I love that movie. But
yeah.
And I kept thinking this has got to be based on a book. And that also is a very you thing.
Mm-hmm. And because a lot of movies today, when they take an idea, they go fucking full extreme on their idea. Whether it's right or left, they always have to have some type of extreme idea. What I love about this movie is they take pro-science and they take pro-faith and they say, fuck it. let's all try to come up with something, because essentially, Jodie Foster's character, she's obviously pro-science and stuff, and Matthew McConaughey is faith. And she's like, how could you an invisible daddy in the sky? Essentially, you need to prove that with science. And she goes through this mission and has an experience, and everybody's calling her a fucking loon. Because usually when someone says, I heard God, or I believe in God, they go, you fucking delusional fuck.
Well, yeah, but not every Christian has met God in person.
Yeah, but it's because it goes back to with Matthew McConaughey after he banged the shit out of Jodie Foster, was talking about, out of nowhere, I just felt things were right because of God and stuff, and she kind of subtly mocked him in a way, but still kind of liked him. And then at the
Redditor on his ass. That's right.
yes, and then at the end, she has this experience, and everybody she can't explain it, but she thinks it's real. So I
never realized that this movie is what that was from, because I've seen that made fun of so many times. Where like, oh, we took a form that your brain would like better or something, a form of your family member. I was like, oh, that's from this.
Yeah, but I want to hear you guys. So whoever wants to take the floor.
It's boring. It's long. It sucked. I don't want to watch it again.
It is long. That's true.
I'm just kidding. I enjoyed the movie. It is lengthy, but I don't think you feel it too much. I think there's a little dip in the middle where it's kind of dragging on the drama of how she's going to manage to spearhead figuring out what this signal's coming from. Like they bring up a lot of cool ideas about the existentialism, but then at the same time they're also dealing with the drama of, well, who cares about whether this is science or faith? Bureaucracy is going to figure it out and reign supreme, and like that, that plays its own pillar. And there's some nice, I don't want to say justice necessarily, but some karma gets served that way, right? And the one guy that's just a complete dick that just get killed.
Every single time that Gary Busey was on screen, I was laughing. Every time. That's Gary Busey. That's hilarious. I love this. This is great. And then he blows up and kills Tom Skerritt. I was like, that was hilarious.
That's what I thought too. Also, can we all agree? This is at least for Zach. And maybe Dubs. You probably remember this. Do you remember that like really weird like anti-Undertaker they were going to try to push in the mid 2000s that were all white? Mordecai.
Was he a cleric or something?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Does he kind of look exactly like this guy when he has long hair?
Yeah, he looks like
it's like long hair.
It's like the indie version of Mordecai. Yeah.
That's where they ripped it off. They're like, what if we took him and made him jacked?
Vince saw Contact finally, like 10 years after it came out. That's what happened.
This is also where he got the idea to have Shawn Michaels and God be tag team.
Yeah. It has to be.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I know we're veering off a little, but the actual plot, for the most part, I like the way it takes its time to get through this whole idea that, again, she is attempting to reach out because her life has kind of been driven into this point of she wants to make contact. And they kind of touch on early, like, she has a lot of tragedy early on. She loses her mom before she gets to know her. She loses her dad really early. The whole thing, for whatever cliche, she is trying to make contact, human contact of some kind, right? She's trying to bond with someone and reach out. And again, understanding her purpose, for her, it is, okay, to try to see if there's something else out there. And I will say, I'd watched this a long, long time ago. I'd forgotten, I knew, the gist of the movie, but I had forgotten what had happened toward the end. And when her dad first showed up, I was like, wait, are they about to pull this weird, she's actually in heaven and heaven's in a different dimension bullshit? But then finally they said the line. Too, yeah. They said the line. And I was like, oh, okay, good. I was gonna be a little pissed if they went that route, not gonna lie. It needed to be left more vague, and that, okay, well, it's just there are these things that exist that are beyond our comprehension. And that still leaves the door open to say, okay, well, there can still be a creator, because they don't know. They even say it, we don't know where these wormholes came from either. They're here. It's just the phenomenon that exists, and we live too. We're just past, the the level of understanding that you are, but that's okay. One step at a time. You'll eventually get there. We've just been around long enough to see these things through. But I do like that they play with that, because to the same extent, belief, whether it's in faith or in science or whatever it is, you can't prove everything that you're necessarily going to believe in. Even a full empiricist has to admit there are things that they can't necessarily prove, but they may still have some type of moral consciousness to accept. So that's kind of what her lesson is in this, which is good. And it's like that someone can still have all this empirical, I'm trying to think, can have an empirical compass, I guess would be the way to put it, but then also still have some type of faith as well. And that's kind of what she learns toward the end. Even having to deal with assholes I can't remember the guy's name.
James Woods' character.
Well, James Woods' character too, but I was talking about the character that like kind of just brushes her off to the side, defunds her, and then the moment they realize she's on to something, they're like, "Oh, I'll take her." David, yeah, Tom Skerritt's character. I just can't remember David, but
credits.
But then James Woods plays like the stereotypical, let's blast them. We gotta make sure whatever it is, it ain't gonna hurt us. So like it'd be the thing if they did show up or there was a physical presence, they'd be like, we should nuke them first, then we'll ask questions.
Yep.
But thankfully none of that should happen. But and they give you the little tease at the end, hey, he's really trying to push to say that this is fake, and at the end of it, it sounds like they end up siding with her that
No, he's a politician. He's a politician. He's playing politics because he wants to appease his voters so that she's a fake and all that stuff. But then obviously when he's like 18 hours, pretty interesting. It is, huh? And then it ends like that.
Right. Well, it kind of leads you to say, okay, well, they kind of knew, but
yeah. I do want to point out the cheesy scenes. Like when that one guy had a bow out because his family and stuff, and they do like Dad, don't go. We don't want you to leave. And he's like, I can't go. My family. And then
no, looks like I can't go.
Yeah, but at the same time, like they do that, but then they also explain why that's a problem, right? It's not like he just would go and it's a risk. It's like even if you do succeed, you may never see us again. Or if you do, you might be back, and then everyone you know of is dead, right?
It's like interstellar shit, yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah, so I get it. There's a degree to that. I mean, again, it's why McConaughey's character, which again, this is what this is about. So I want to come back to talking about his character, but it's why he railroads her kind of in the middle. Like he has like kind of a corny reason to say, "Oh, but you don't believe in God. I just couldn't send you." But really, it's because he loves her. He doesn't want to lose her. He's being selfish, right?
Yeah.
So, and he says that later, and she understood. I mean, he was just it was always just a matter of I just don't want to lose you. But Murph,
he played a good bluff card because like he's like, "Do you believe in God?" And the guy's like, "You 95% of the world is believes in some type of creator." And she like knew she lost to that fucking. It's so funny because like, if you believe in like faith and like certain situations where higher beings putting certain situations into place, is like, did that happen where she didn't get picked? So like fucking Segura's character gets killed and then she goes to Japan, and I mean obviously. If you don't have that belief, like obviously it's just like, oh, it's a coincidence. A fucking crazy terrorist decided to blow up the place. But I also want to bring up the fact, like that long road of like all the Americans, like the neo-Nazis, the crazy religious people, and just
Gary
people.
Busey.
Yeah, Gary Busey, and then people with their little fucking satellites and stuff. I saw an RCA fucking TV satellite while she's like listening. I was like, man, that explains America in just one road right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nazis and wackos.
Yeah, basically. That's more or less what we are.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I would have liked, but at the same time, the more I've thought about it, I don't know if I'd like it. I wanted to see what you guys thought. So she gets questioned at the end by James Woods to prove that the whole thing wasn't a hoax and all this nonsense. Like they really put her through the ringer on that agenda, right? And her response is basically exactly what you'd expect from her and her personality without learning anything, because it's well, I can't prove it, but I can't say it wasn't true because it's what I saw. And like she goes through a weird like autism paradox because she literally just loops the same thing. I know what I saw, but I can't say it's not real. And it's like, okay, well, I get why they went with that, and it just kind of sticks and is a little awkward. But at the same time, if she had learned from anything from what they had played in the movie, the writing could have been that she goes the route that McConaughey's character does, and she simply looks at him and asks him who he loves, and then says, "Prove it," and then uses that same argument to try to like say, well, you can't simply prove everything. And I can do that for science just as much as someone else can for faith. So I thought about it, though. I don't know if I would have liked that, because then it would have seemed like kind of forced. Maybe it's a little ham-fisted to do that, but
I think they still did what you're talking about. It just wasn't in like a really forward manner of it.
No, they did it very autistic. Like
It's like the very last scene of them going to the car like that.
Oh, sure. I just meant like in the moment to like put James Woods on the spot and be like, no.
yeah.
Yeah, like just to like it would have like because at the same time, whenever they leave the court, it just leaves very open and again, it's fine. I don't need it spoon fed to me what happened, but it's definitely left loosely to interpret. Okay, well, did she end up getting accused that she made fraud of all this? Like, is she gonna go to jail now because she did all this, or is
no, she got a grant.
Right? Like you find out later she did get the grant, but it's weird how it's just left open in that way, and they have to just make a decision. But it does
show when she leaves Congress, there's a jillion people there that are all like holding signs that are in some like it seems like she got through to everyone except the top level of like cynicism and bureaucracy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and she did, right? But it was just more like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I would have wanted it that she used something that she had learned earlier and used the lesson that she had learned and then outwit the person right then and there, rather than just using her raw emotion to just show, I can't explain it. This is what happened. And like I said, at first that's what I thought they were going to do, but
I don't think that's the point. The movie, like, I don't think there is something to do in that place. I think the movie's point is if you have faith and someone else doesn't, there's nothing you can do in the face of that, and that's what happens to her. She gets into a place where she has to demonstrate evidence of something that she has taken. That other people have to take on faith, and she realizes you can't do it, and that's the reverse of what she's been doing the whole movie. That's the point.
Right. Oh no, I agree. And she just stuck with it, and that's just how it is.
No, I see Chaz's point. Like he wants to like stick it into the committee essentially, or like have a smart response in some way to like prove it, as you were saying, instead of like using what Matthew McConaughey's character does. In my mind, I looked at that scene like how our bullshit fucking government does investigations where they put the scapegoat into the chair and to like belittle them, and then after they belittle them, they go, "All right, you did good on the stage. Here's a fucking grant."
Your grant, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would totally love if she got like a really good lawyer or something, and it was like, all right, where's the fucking evidence? Where's that 18 hours of static recording for the what was the time, like a few seconds of going through the machine?
Half a second.
Instantaneous or something.
They said it was like half a second.
Mm-hmm. And knowing the government, they'd be like, well, we had the cameras on the whole time, so it was 18 hours of static, so malfunction of a technology. But yeah, as you can tell, I hate government. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Zach, you haven't said anything. Did you like this movie or did you hate it? You despise it?
It's pretty good. It's very 90s. I was thinking the whole time I was watching this thing, this is like the 90s version of Interstellar. It's like what this is.
That's what I was saying. Like, it kept making me think about Interstellar.
Matthew McConaughey was like a supporting actor in the 90s version of Interstellar, and then he got his own later.
then he got promoted.
He got promoted to the main character. But yeah, it was good. I like Jodie Foster, and the various supporting actors are good. Maybe except for that weird loser guy that's part of the research team. The one who's like, oh, you phasers and stuff. He's making Star Trek references and shit.
Oh.
He's some slob.
He kind of disappears after a while.
Yeah, he falls asleep on a table or something.
Yeah, he's one of those weird intern neckbeards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those guys. Yeah. Then. I think this movie maybe is a little too long because there was 2 times where I had to pause it to do something, and then I looked at the time and I'm like, what? And there was a couple times where I don't know if there's like a name for this phenomenon or something, where like you're watching a movie and you feel like, okay, this should be like near the end, and it's not. That happens twice in this movie.
Okay, question to both Andy and Zach. When you guys paused it and you're like, oh my God, this is way too long, where did you pause?
Well, I just want to say I didn't say it was way too long. I was like, oh my god, this much is left.
All right. I mean, I know what you're saying. I'm a New Yorker. I over exaggerate things.
Okay, I just want to be clear. That's all. But I think it was. Where was that at exactly?
I remember I did have to pause to let the dog out, and it was at 40 minutes. And I remember thinking, "Oh man, this movie's just getting going."
Yeah, it was like around the 40 to 50 minute mark when I paused it the first time. And then the second time, it was like almost an hour and 20 or so in. I was like, damn, it feels like a lot's happening, but there's still a lot to go.
Yeah, I also paused twice because of like restroom breaks. And I think it was like an hour in is when the hearing is happening. Like whenever they're doing the hearing to determine who's going to be the candidate to go up, it's about an hour in, 10 minutes in, and I thought, man, there's still a lot of this to go. And then when she's actually sucked in, I guess to whatever wormhole or whatever, like right before that happens, it's like there's still like 40 minutes left. So like an hour 50, like there's still 40 minutes left in the movie right as that's happening too. And I was thinking, man, I thought the whole point is she makes contact and the movie ends. I don't remember anything after that. And again, if it's context of like I've watched it before, I just don't remember there being much after. So I was like, okay, there's a lot more to this movie. Okay, I guess we'll see where this goes. I never really felt like, oh man, this is dragging. It was more just again when I paused it, I thought, oh, okay. Just thought that we were closer than we are. But I mean, I'm not upset about that. I'm just surprised.
I was upset. No, I wasn't.
I thought it was a little long. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm suffering. It was just like, man, this movie really overindulges in a few places. Like just like the whole part with like they're looking for the candidate to actually go in the thing. I got bored. I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be Jodie Foster or it's not, and it probably will eventually be her because she's the main character. Like there's no way they're going to send Tom Skerritt. Something's going to happen. Oh, something happened. I can't believe it. Don't waste my time.
I think they could have cut 15 minutes or so out, maybe.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that kind of just like lags through, and also I don't think because of the visuals in this movie for the age it was made, that does not help its case. Because some of it was like, okay, these visuals look great at the time it was made, so they indulged a little on that, but that stuff, man, it makes the movie drag whenever you're looking at stuff that just. It's like, am I watching the Final Fantasy movie? What is this?
Yeah, because
doesn't feel great.
I just didn't get like they do a weird CG thing when she's in the plot at some point, and I don't understand why. Like, what? Why? Why are you bothering?
Because they're showing you how space is crazy.
I guess so. Something I really liked about the movie is that so many people play themselves, like Larry King and
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, what's the story there? What's going on?
It's got to be like archive footage, and then they like green screen it and stuff. They just did a really good job.
That's what I mean. Like they obviously didn't like have Bill Clinton on set. Like, what do they do? Like, is it a double? Is it?
It's cut. It's cut from like some of his like actual speeches and stuff. Or like, I forgot what the. I thought the.
So that's why it's all just like nonsense president stuff. Okay.
Presidential talk. It's really well done though, because I was looking at it real hard. I'm like, how are they doing this?
There's only one time when Bill Clinton's in the foreground and Tom Skerritt's in the background, and you can tell it's like a bad. That one stood out, but the other ones all look good.
It was ironically the one where they were showing that through a TV, like through a TV in the movie. It looked really fake there. They messed up.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried.
I did wonder, like, what was the information that Bill Clinton was actually talking about? Was it something like actually on topic somewhat? Like, was it about science, or was it about a scandal, or was it like his reaction to the 93 World Trade Center bombings or something? Like something ridiculously dark, and it's like, how that doesn't stick at all? Because he's like, we'll just wait until we receive all the information, and then we'll come to some conclusion. It's like,
when did the Monica Lewinsky stuff happen?
That was after this.
It was after, so it wouldn't have been that. Yeah.
I think maybe it was like Bosnia stuff, because Bosnia was going on back then,
mm-hmm.
and then we did some things there. I think, but yeah.
What do you guys think of John Hurt's character?
I love John Hurt. I will never say bad things about John Hurt. He rules.
You mean the Bond villain who just happened to not be trying to destroy the world?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was John Hurt.
Yeah, I didn't until IMDb'd it and realized who it was.
He's doing like a super Howard Hughes thing, and I thought that was really bizarre.
Yeah, he really reminded me of as like a weird twisted version of like Tyrell from Blade Runner.
Yeah,
like he's giving me like Tyrell vibes, but he's like more of a weirdo than him.
I have somewhat of like a Mandela effect with this because I always thought it was Mr. Madden, but it's Mr. Haddon. So I was like,
he even has his own televisions in that world. You see that?
Yeah. I always laugh when he's like in space and stuff. He's like, "Oh, Comrade Arroway," and he's like in space. He's like, "I'm slowing down the cancer," or like whatever. I always laugh. I'm like, as you guys, Chaz, he said, like a Bond villain, not trying to like blow up the world, essentially. Because he knows everything about
Howard Hughes. He's Howard Hughes.
Yeah. He literally has a secret base. He has henchmen who are wearing the letter H in all black on like they look like fucking Team Rocket soldiers. Like it's like, how is this guy not a Bond villain? Except he's not actually trying to destroy the world.
He's in the movie so little. Like honestly, like John Hurt does a good job as acting as him, but he just serves as like the money Deus Ex Machina.
He is literally the vehicle for them to like, get around it.
Like it's just like, oh, but then the plot had to be advanced, so a billionaire.
Yeah,
it happens twice.
He's also the one that like saves the whole project where it's like, oh my god, it's over, it's done.
We were building a second.
They built a double.
He saves the day twice because she can't get funding, and he's the one who approves it. And then Gary Busey blows up the thing, and he builds another one, or built another one at the same time. Like it's Deus Ex Machina. It's lazy.
You imagine Gary Busey's son, like, in the movie, like, goes to hell and shit, and then he finds out there's a second fucking machine. He's fucking going insane.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but two things I want to bring up. Tom Skerritt plays a fucking really good douchebag. And two, William Fichtner, guy who plays Kent, plays a really good blind man.
Yeah.
It's a guy I see in movies, and I'm like, I know that guy. I've seen him somewhere. And then I never look him up.
This movie's full of like B+ actors, like and A- for that matter. But I mean, it's got everyone you just mentioned, and then of course James Woods, and like lots of little things. Like Rob Lowe turns up. I was like, why is Rob Lowe in this movie?
He's doing like an RFK impression for some reason.
He's like a politician guy.
He's like, we can't do this.
These creatures, God and all that stuff. I'm like,
creatures, God.
David Morse is in this as well. If you ever seen the movie The Negotiator, he's in that movie as well.
I do not know him.
Mm-hmm. The Ellie's father.
Yeah.
David Morse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do want to bring up, when she goes through the wormholes, I really like the detail that they do in that. Because when she stops at one point and she's like, oh my God, Vega. And like, she looks up and it looks like she's in a like transport machine. I'm not saying like the actual machine that she's in, but like in space near that star, it looks like there was like some type of machine that was like, for example, like a railway essentially that's transporting her in some fashion. And I also like the part where she sees the civilization and she's like, they're alive, and like moves forward. The alien that betrays her father, I kept on going like, I know what he was saying, but like he would be like, you have your mother's hands. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, it's really creepy. Like if you're not really the father, then the things you're doing are wrong.
Mm-hmm. But
once you've like unveiled that, you don't have to continue with that. That doesn't make any sense. That was a little weird. I thought that was a little contrived. Yeah.
And some things I want to point out as well, because when the alien like does the sand and then you see like the star constellation, when her father dies, the popcorn is the form of the star constellation, which was pointed out and proven.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a cool little detail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, and there's more scenes where it shows up. By the way, the constellation.
So then, all right, well, hear me out then. If we make weird tinfoil hats, plot twist, these things do have some type of weird, like, interdimensional pull, and they intentionally killed her father in order to drive her to make contact to help the civilization advance.
What a fucking shitty alien. Fuck you, alien.
It's for the greater good.
I think this was orchestrated by that insane Tyrell guy. And like, you know, when he first got her on the plane and he was like showing her like her entire childhood.
Yeah, his entire
stuff.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is this like the Batman Beyond project? This
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, did he like Terry McGinnis, Jodie Foster in this movie? I was totally gonna say that.
I've been watching you your whole life, and he like has a baby picture, and I fucking laugh. Oh, what's the last thing I wanted to say? Shit.
The last thing.
The last thing like in this movie that I wanted to talk about. It just left.
That's fine. I want to talk about how I feel about this movie. I was a little frustrated because the first third of the movie, like when it's just about SETI and radio signals and they're trying to decode stuff and they're trying to figure out what they're getting from the aliens, fantastic. That's like the first third of this movie is a perfect movie and I love it to death. And then they get into all the other stuff and I feel like it starts falling apart under its own weight after a while. I did enjoy the movie. I had a very fun 2.5 hours. I would have had more fun 2 hours, but I just all the dumb faith versus science stuff. I hate that screenwriting trope. Of course, in 1997, that might have been the fresh new hotness. So maybe I shouldn't be so hard on it. But I think that's lame and boring. I don't like it. And again, there's a lot of stuff like I feel like the book would have had. The book version or the original screenplay would have had, they built one and then it got blown up by religious terrorists. And there's a lot of implications there. But then, the billionaire built another one in Hokkaido. That's it's just like, it's a Deus Ex Machina. It's dumb and lazy and it's not good screenwriting. And I was confused the whole time. Like I just don't get it. It's so stupid. Like this movie sets itself up as being, look how fucking smart I am, and then they do dumb shit like that. I just feel like it flies in the face of the message it's trying to have.
I think that just might be Hollywood, like being like, all right, that's cool, but we gotta like appease, I guess, the dumb people, I guess, or the casuals.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's part of the problem is the movie is trying to, it's a Hollywood movie, but it's trying to dress up like it's a big smart sci-fi movie. I think that's maybe my problem with it, and it tricked me. It tricked me with that first hour or so, and then it said, "Oh, but I'm a Hollywood movie, haha!" And I was like, "Oh, I miss what I was watching. I miss that cool sci-fi movie I was watching." I mean, it wasn't even really sci-fi. Well, it was sci-fi. It was messages from space, but it seemed a little more realistic. But I don't like the debates she's always having with Matthew McConaughey about faith. She's when they're at that party in Washington D.C. and she says you can't prove God, and he says, "Did you love your father?" And she says yes, and he says, "Can you prove it?" And that's supposed to be like a big gotcha moment. Well, yeah, you can prove it because of their life together, the way that they treated each other, and the years that she spent living with him and being raised by him, and the way that she has felt about him ever since, and the fact that she has a picture of him that she takes with her around the world. And like, yes, you can definitely prove it, but the movie just goes, "Oh, I gotcha," and then it moves on. Wait, no, you didn't get me.
Yeah, I mean,
bullshit.
I mean, they're trying to push for the argument of you don't have physical evidence, like in the form of data, yeah. But at the same time, it's apples and oranges because you can prove some things without having a tangible evidence because the actions that you've taken and experiences in your life can be proof. Like, so again, the decisions you make can help prove one thing depending on what that thing is. So I agree. It's what you said is they're trying to be smarter than what it really is, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, it's not as insulting as Armageddon.
That's, I mean, I enjoyed it.
There's no fire in space.
Is this a good movie or a bad movie? It is a good movie. I did like it. I did enjoy it, but it's just there's a lot of stuff about it where I was like, man, they're really dropping the ball on this.
I think it's just fresh to have a movie where it's not too extreme on the ideology. I like that it kind of just doesn't take a stance, essentially.
I wanted that. That's why I think it was trying to make a stance. It just did it kind of ham-fistedly.
Yeah.
What's the stance?
Yeah, what's the stance? I felt like it left things a little open.
It was trying to do. It was like at the end. It was about having faith in something. It's about faith. It's a sci-fi movie about faith. I think that's kind of part of my problem with it.
Yeah. So what I wonder then is how does the way this film ends? How does it differ from what the book does? Because Carl Sagan wrote the book. I would love to know how this actually compares.
I would like that as well.
I have it somewhere. I'll read it and tell you guys.
All right, read it before next week.
Okay.
Homework. Big trouble homework session.
No, whenever you do read it, though, I'm very interested to know. I think the concept of this movie is really cool, and I can feel in it screenwriters fucking around a little too heavily.
It feels like that. Again, it feels like something that was probably probably a little too highbrow for a general audience, and then someone who was going to end up being a writer for Armageddon got a hold of this and just slopped on him a little.
Vendetta against Armageddon today.
Okay, listen, hear me out. It's a hot take. Armageddon is quite possibly one of the most overrated movies of its time.
Hey, Armageddon's in the Criterion Collection. You watch your mouth.
And I'm not saying it's
true?
a movie.
It is true. It is.
I'm not saying it's
Armageddon and The Rock are both in the Criterion Collection.
Okay, well, it is what it is. I mean,
I won't listen to slander about The Rock, though.
I mean,
they got all kinds of garbage in Criterion Collection.
That's true. There's a lot of I was just saying it. It's a funny fact.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I enjoy watching Armageddon, but the more you actually understand things, it's like why did oil drillers have to be the ones to go to space? Why didn't the astronauts learn how to drill a hole? It's not that hard.
Well, that's why Armageddon is such an interesting movie, is because they understood what would make a Hollywood movie. They said, we're going to take blue collar, trash men and then put them in an extra crazy situation. And that's what made that movie good.
Well, that explosions. There's a lot of over-the-top explosions.
Yeah, there's a lot of just outrageous stuff, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it for what it is. Again, it's played out like it's this big movie. I would have people that would tell you that movie, in their own opinion, is rated higher than Schindler's List or something.
I haven't met those people.
I've never heard that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, those people typically keep a coloring book in their pickup truck, but that's beside the point. Anyway, I think the movie is good. It's a little long. But I think that's the worst thing it has going for it, because the longer this movie goes, the more some of the things we're talking about unravel. If this movie were wrapped up a little more tightly, some of these plot holes wouldn't be here.
Mm.
At least that's my opinion. But it's a good movie. I really enjoy it. And
I had a thought while I was watching it, toward the end especially, if they did this now, they would make it an 8 or 10 episode miniseries on HBO Max or on fucking Showtime or Paramount or whatever. That's what they would do to this, and it would be good. It would develop all these characters better, and it would explain its points better, and it would probably overall be a finer product. But I think I would hate it, because part of what I liked about this movie, and Zach touched on this earlier, it's just a very late 90s movie. A lot of it just kind of feels like a nice product. It feels like a nice 90s movie, and God damn it, I like that.
The TV show would be completely unmemorable, because that's how a lot of that stuff is.
It would get lost in with all this other stuff that's out right now. And if that's what you want, read the book. If you want the big long thing, read the book.
All this crap that gets produced now, and I'm saying mostly about these TV shows. It's just stuff you watch, and then you take it in, and then for the most part, it's some time will go by and you hardly remember it.
Sure,
it's just stuff. It's just stuff you take in.
Consume product, be excited about next product.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing out there in the current pipeline that is produced it's all trash. I'm not saying that. There is good stuff out there, but all this other stuff's kind of just.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of what you guys are saying, I would rather watch. This is my opinion.
I'd rather watch Contact than one of these TV shows we're talking about. These hypothetical.
90% of TV shows that are out today, I would rather watch Contact 1,000,000 times. I might get bored out of it at a certain time, but I don't know. I just think I love the 90s. I think that's my thing because I was actually like CRT monitors. I was like, fuck yeah. Like when
I do that all the time when I watch something like those are real computers. That's real TV right there. That's look at all this real shit that we don't have.
Look at all that real shit.
You got a real car that won't fucking die on her or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dubs, I hope you understand that I do like this movie and that I didn't mean to be too mean on one of your favorite movies.
No.
I'm actually really glad I've seen it. Like, I really think this movie belongs in the pantheon of
Good sci-fi movies.
Good sci-fi movies. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's Criterion worthy?
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
Fuck
why
it.
not, man?
Get it all in there.
Armageddon's allowed to be. Contact can be too.
That was a trick question if for that exact reason. If Armageddon's allowed to be there.
Honestly, Criterion has like 1,300 films in it. Who cares? Put whatever you want to there at this point. Whatever.
The whole premise
get the troll movie in there. The emoji movie is what I meant to
The
say. Get that in there.
movie. And don't talk shit about the troll movie. The movie's
get that one in there too. Who cares?
Yeah.
They try to be all hoity-toity, like they put that out there, but like the main mission is like, oh, we just try to rescue movies that get lost or can't get distribution.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it is. It's like no one is distributing this in high definition. We'll do it, and then they do that a lot of the time. And a lot of the stuff that they put out is just money grabs, 110%. And I think they know that. And I think their fans know that. Every time they put out a Wes Anderson movie, that movie probably could have found an audience without Criterion. But guess what? Criterion's got it, and they're going to make that money. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the Scorsese stuff they got and stuff like it's.
I just want to point out, like,
they're not saving Mean Streets.
I was so into this conversation that I forgot to fucking pull this shit up. This fucking pisses me.
Whatever. People know what it looks like. Yeah, that's good. It's a monitor. Oh my god, get that off the screen. That looks terrible.
I'm not gonna lie.
It is. It looks like a fucking Sega CD game.
No, it looks better than that. It looks like a 3DO game.
It looks a little better than that. It looks like a 3DO game. I give you that.
Listen, that's space hallucinations. Like she's in some kind of other world or whatever.
This looks like Hellraiser. Like they're in hell.
The CG it strongly gave me vibes of the Final Fantasy movie, which we should one day watch.
It was better than that.
Yeah. Well, so we need to come back to that. Someone remind me, like in an hour, that I said the words Final Fantasy movie, maybe off air. Because
I have been meaning to watch that movie for a long time. I bought a $1.90 copy of it last year, and I was like, I'm going to finally watch this movie. I've never done it. We should have chosen it for Too Big to Fail, but you already have a pick. I already have a pick.
Did someone finally pick? Like we had someone that hadn't picked yet. I was gonna suggest the Final Fantasy movie if they hadn't chosen yet.
I picked artificial intelligence because it has,
that's right. He chose AI. Okay, well there you go.
Final Fantasy Spirits Within is extra credit.
There we go. It's our tombstone pick.
I could do that.
What's the one that we covered on our show? We covered a Final Fantasy movie.
Oh, Advent Children.
Yeah. Oh,
well, that would make sense. Yeah, Advent Children was. Well, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought about it. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Fine. That's what we said.
Fine. It was like, I almost was like, it wasn't good. It was fine. I got there was a lot of nostalgia to it. Like you can see these cool updated graphics, but it's like, oh well, was the plot really good?
No.
I mean, see that battle. That battle was cool.
That's the way all that shit is. You're talking to a guy who owns the Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive movie, for crying out loud. It's the same thing. Man, this movie looks nice. It's fucking dumb as hell, but it looks good.
Are you guys recommending this film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Zach, do you recommend it? Oh no, did we lose Zach? Oh, we lost contact. Sorry, I was holding on to that. I was really hoping it would come up.
Well, I'm guessing he's gonna like it, but I was gonna say, Zach, what is your next movie you're gonna pick? But I'll just say it for him. It's The Gentleman in 2019. Oh, he's Zach. Do you recommend the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed it.
As we lost you, Chaz was like, we lost contact. But
Yeah.
Zach, what's your next movie you're gonna?
Oh, it's The Gentleman for 2019. It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, I'm really excited now, then. I fucking love Guy Ritchie.
I picked this because it's like everybody else seems to be picking like real serious McConaughey shit. This is kind of a serious movie too. But like, I mean, Dubs' movie is serious as well. But this is like, I was saying, like, I think the initial appeal of that guy was it's like, oh, he's just kind of like charming and he's a weirdo, you know. And I feel like that's the kind of guy he's going to be in this movie. He's a weirdo.
Have you not seen it before?
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's exciting. Has anyone seen it?
I've never seen it.
That's really. I like when we watch something we've never seen before.
That's really cool. I'm now that I've looked at Matthew McConaughey's IMDb, I'm really upset to know that through bullshit loopholes, I could have said we should watch Deadpool and Wolverine because he was the voice of Cowboy Pool. Apparently,
no, we're not. No, he's got to be in more than that.
Yeah. But no,
I'm sure one day we'll do comic book movies or some shit.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. It sounded like a threat.
Yeah, a little bit. Now this movie looks really cool. It looks kick-ass, actually. I'm gonna not look into more of it because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Well, I think now we get to do the post credits scene, which is where we talk about what we've watched and played and done and did. And you know what, Chaz, you're gonna go first. You tell us about all your little cardboardy deals.
I don't have too much in the way of cardboard, but I guess
you took a trip.
Yeah, I took a trip. So, but yeah, let's talk about stuff. So, I'm trying to think from the last time we did an episode. Actually, yeah, I've not played any Pokemon. But I did have a cool thing just to say, to shout out to our local kid who is one of the juniors that travels everywhere. So the new rotation just dropped. So like all the yellow border cards are officially out of rotation. It's all now silver bordered cards. It's the newest set. And the very first event, the Atlanta Regional Championship, happened, and he won the whole fucking tournament. He is 10. Yeah, how cool is that? He won his division. It was like 700 kids or something, and he beat them all, or however many. Like, it's just crazy. His kid's awesome. So yeah, he can kick ass, and very proud of him. I'm gonna buy him a cookie cake tomorrow, so we're gonna celebrate. But we actually have a tournament tomorrow. We have a local challenge, so looking to go there, and I don't know if I'm gonna play yet. I gotta figure that out. Let's see, Lorcana wise, I'm trying to remember if the ban thing happened before we talked last. I probably bitched about it then, but they banned my favorite card. I'm still upset about it.
I think you mentioned that. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, but actually, after we record tonight, I'm playing in it. I'm in a tournament with my team. It's like an internal thing where we've been doing online, but we're doing our semifinals. I'm the number 1 seed going into that, so hopefully I can make it to the finals and win whatever bragging rights or prize. I don't know what it is, but that said, not too much else going on with Lorcana at the moment. For things I've watched, I watched a fair bit of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia while I played on the Switch. This was mostly what I did because turns out whenever you go and visit people who have kids, they all go to bed super early, and apparently I'm the only crazy person that stays up till 2 a.m. And just so I had long hours of time to myself, so I played video games and watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I feel like it was a good use of my time. I still been watching Ghosts with the wife. That show's so funny. If you guys haven't watched it, you really should check it out. It's a funny show. I watched. I recently got Max, which I can't remember. I had a reason for getting it.
Last of Us Season 2?
That's probably it. But
you're not even sure. It's like, well, I guess that's it.
I know that was coming out, but I felt like there was another thing that piqued my interest in getting it. But anyway, I resubscribed to Max.
Final season.
I don't know. So I resubscribed, and the Watchmen animated movie was on there, and out of a whim, I was like, I want to watch this. It was pretty good. I mean, it's not anything crazy. I felt like it's what Zack Snyder wanted to do with the actual movie, but as far as sticking like more to the graphic novel, like it has most of the same stuff, but there are very important things that happen in the animated film that they didn't have time for, I guess. It's kind of what it felt like. It felt like if he was given like a director's cut and there was like a Snyder cut of that movie that was much longer and included everything, then it would have been this animated film. But I don't know, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. They also did the ending true to the comic as opposed to what happened in the actual movie, if you guys have watched it. So I thought it was cool. Anyway, it's pretty good. I'd recommend it if you're into that stuff, which you nerds are, so you should watch it. Let's see. I played a bunch of games actually. So first off, I was gonna keep going with my Pokemon Diamond thing, and I had my team, and I can't remember what badge I got to or what gym. So I was doing like the hardcore, and I was like, you're not allowed to level up a certain way, or like, sorry, level caps. Like when you get to a certain gym, like you can't go past that level with your Pokemon. It's actually kind of hard to do in this game because they have the auto leveling thing. So basically, you have to like take Pokemon out if they get to the certain cap. Well, anyway, I got to Crasher Wake, and his Gyarados whooped my ass. So I actually lost all of my team in that fight because, yeah, it was some bad luck. But so I ended up just going, well, fuck it, I'm not starting over. So I just quit playing it, and I moved on and played a bunch of Genesis games.
Just cheat. Just keep your Pokemon. Who cares?
It's a challenge thing. It's again, if you beat these games a bajillion times over and over, it's like these.
Gotta do something. All right.
Yeah, it's my autism. You just gotta let me roll with it. So anyway, it was cool though because the way when I switched to doing something else, I've had way more fun. I played this game called Game Ground on
That's a cool game.
on Genesis. Yeah, I remember the other day you were talking about the Genesis collection, and I was like, man, I wish I could download that. Like I thought I didn't have it or something. Well, it turns out I did have it. I just needed to re-download it, and
there
you
you
can
go.
do that as long as you had it. So I re-downloaded it, and yeah, I played Game Ground. That game's a lot of fun. If anyone's ever played it, if you haven't, it's like a weird, like top-down strategy arcade stage thing where like you get sets of guys that have different attributes as far as how they attack, and you have to make it through each stage, but also like rescue other guys as you're going through, and that gives you more abilities and characters to fight with. I don't know. It's a neat game. It's got some interesting mix of just like not platforming necessarily, but just like almost like battle tank like movement and strategy to how you get through. And once you figure out like how each person like what their strengths and weaknesses are, it makes it pretty easy to get through. But yeah, I managed to get through it and actually beat it, which is cool. I also played Gunstar Heroes, which I've heard like over and over. Like I can't tell you how many like videos I've watched of people talking about this game and how great it is, and like, oh, you have to get it, and it's super expensive and hard to get now. It's pretty good. Like I wouldn't say like I'm blown away or anything by it.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's like it's good, but I would rather play the Contra game. I'd rather play Contra Hardcore than, or is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather play that. Yeah, Hard Corpse. Yeah, I'd rather play that than play Gunstar Heroes. But Gunstar Heroes was fun. It's still a decent game.
It's creative. It's a neat game.
Yeah. So, but again, both those games are pretty short. I got through them both.
Play Crusader Senti. Do that. Go do that.
Crusader Senti. Yeah, I that's another game that I think I've even tried it once, but maybe I was in the right headspace and I played it just like for a minute and just moved on. Is it in that collection as well?
I believe it is. I played a ROM of it that I pirated like a year or two ago, but I think it's in that collection.
If it's not in that collection, it's in another.
If it isn't, then my next recommendation would be Beyond Oasis.
Oh, I've played Beyond Oasis.
Okay, well, never mind that one.
Yeah, that was like the Genesis Zelda. Like when you did, like when I was a kid, I had Beyond Oasis. I remember playing it and like, oh, like why would I even want to play Zelda? Because I have this instead. But then I played Zelda and realized, oh, this is what the hype's all about. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now. Yeah. Anyway, I ended up getting to the real treat, which was I got into the Game Boy Advance collection, and they updated, and Wario Land 4 is now on there.
That game's a masterpiece.
That game is fucking awesome. I'm like halfway through it now. I love that game. I love it so much. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing the last few days, and that's actually I literally set up in the hotel lobby we were at last night, and I watched Contact while playing Wario Land 4, and I was having a ball, and I didn't give a fuck who.
That's a wild combo.
It was really fun. It's like her dad's showing up, and she's getting emotional, and all these things are happening. Meanwhile, I got Wario catching his ass on fire and turning into a zombie so he can go through floors and haunted houses and shit. It's real fun. That game is just so goofy, but in the best way. And I also have huge nostalgia for it because it was, I think, when I was 12, that's when the Game Boy Advance dropped, and the two games I had for the Game Boy Advance were Castlevania, Circle of the Moon, and Wario Land 4. And I played the bejesus out of both of them. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I did. Other than I went on that trip to North Carolina, I got to see some cool stuff, but that's That's a nerd stuff. Y'all don't want to hear about that.
All right. Well, you know what we do want to hear about is what Zach did. Zach, you're next.
Whoa. Okay. I watched a few things. I watched the Bahrain Grand Prix. I did not watch the qualifying.
I did. I watched it. I watched the goddamn driver parade.
Driver parade.
You ever watch one? Like,
No.
It's weird. It's very bizarre. It's just, they take all 20 drivers and put them on a semi truck, like a big flatbed truck with sides on it, and drive around the track once. And while they're doing it, they interview each driver once. But there's like not anyone at the track yet. It's mostly just like the workers and stuff. It's bizarre. It's a very weird experience. I guess they do it at every track, and I've never watched it, but they broadcast it live on YouTube. So I watched it this time. I was like, this is weird. But
that's what those scenes are from Drive to Survive when they're doing that.
Yeah. They use a lot of it for that, and you'll always see because they interview each driver, and it's like the last interview before they actually, are ready to go do the race. So they always get some pretty good sound bites out of it. But yeah. And then I also did watch qualifying in all 3 practice sessions because I'm a freak.
I couldn't catch the qualifying because it was like busy that day or something. And but yeah, the race was pretty good though. It was a lot more eventful than like the last couple races.
A lot better than Japan was.
Other than like, first place being pretty much sewed up,
Apparently that has happened at every. I think the pole sitter has won every race this year, which is not thrilling, but
qualifying Grand Prix.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was good though. Certain people had good races. Some people had disappointing races. George Russell got second place when his car was like basically fucking falling apart.
My favorite part was you might lose the dash. Just keep going, I guess.
Like it all started with he's like, why is this red light on? That's literally the beginning of it. And then after that, like a couple laps later, he's like, my brakes are starting to go.
And his car went into the twilight zone because the transponder was broken. And I never realized it, but like not only does that mean that they don't know where he is on the track, but that means they don't know how far he is behind the car in front of him and how far he is ahead of the car behind him, which means his DRS does not know where he is, this drag reduction system that can only open at certain points. So his race engineer had to tell him, okay, you're in the DRS zone, you can use DRS, and he had to close it manually or else he would get a fine, which almost happened, but he escaped it. And likewise, the car that was behind him, like his DRS transponder didn't know where George was, so he couldn't use his DRS without his race engineer telling him. So it's like one thing breaks and it like fucks the whole race. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And he got second place?
George did, yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Solid George.
Solid George, that's him.
You got anything else to say about that race, I guess, since we're just riffing off that?
I had fun watching it. Nothing really stood out exceptionally, except George's car breaking, which was really funny. I don't know. Yuki got points. It's exciting. He broke the Red Bull second car curse.
He also broke Carlos's car.
That's true.
That was
Carlos was upset. He said they should investigate him.
That was terrible. I like both guys, but that was terrible.
Yeah.
Good race though. Look forward to the next. I watched some OG Star Trek again. I watched a couple episodes. I watched there's an episode I think is like Who Mourns for Adonis, which is actually about them encountering the Greek god Apollo.
What?
It's wild. Yeah, man, it's cool as hell. If we do, you guys will probably forget about it later. So I'll pick it probably if we do another Star Trek thing. They basically they're going across this planet and then like some hand grabs them in space. And since it's like the 60s, it's like a green translucent human hand grabs the ship.
Nice.
And then they get transported down on the world, and it's Apollo, and he's like, "You will live here, and you will worship me. And finally, I've met you again after thousands of years." And the whole implication of it is the Greek gods were real, but they were like weird alien creatures from space.
Chariots of the Gods stuff.
Yeah. So it's like
there's a Chariots of the Gods Voyager episode.
It must be a callback to that kind of.
Maybe.
Then I watched one where they went to this alien world where almost everything on the world was dangerous. It's like there was flowers that would shoot buckshot into people and they would die.
Word.
I'm not joking. There's like a red shirt's like wandering around and you see like this flower. It's like pointing right at him. And then he's like, did that flower just move? And it's like, blam! He just gets like a chest full of buckshot and falls over dead.
Man, so they go to Australia. Is that what you're?
Yeah, this is like Space Australia.
Space Australia.
but no.
We need to make T-shirts, man. Waltism, fucking Space Australia.
Well, Space Australia is from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, so we can't steal that.
Space Australia.
Yeah, but what else was it? Like the rocks are explosive. It's like somebody. Like I think Spock picked up a rock. He's like, "Huh, it's pretty interesting." And he like tosses the rock aside. And it goes blam, like it's a fucking hand grenade or something.
Neat.
And then like there's like thunderstorms that happen really quick out of nowhere, and they're like really violent. And the lightning deletes people.
I love deletion lightning. That's my favorite kind.
That's what happens to people in old Star Trek. They just get deleted whenever they get hit by a phaser or whatever.
This all sounds awesome, and it makes me want to watch the original series real bad, which is good because it's going to give me even more motivation to get to the end of Voyager, so I can go back and watch that.
It's fun. It's just like it's a different vibe. You got to just keep that in mind because it's older. It's from the 60s TV was different. But the old Star Trek is still really cool to watch. It's more. I say it's more fun than like what Star Trek becomes known as later. But yeah, those are I watched those two. I plan on watching some more here and there, just scattered out. I listened to a bunch of 6 Feet Under, like Undertaker's podcast. I've just kind of been listening to that while I've been doing other stuff, like in video games or something. If I'm doing like monotonous tasks in video games, I'm just like I got that on the background or whatever. Not much else to say there other than he did an interview with Omos, and that interview was fucking funny. And it was really cool. I hope that dude gets a shot soon, like in WWE, because this guy is like enormous. He's probably like I think he's taller than Giant Gonzalez was.
Yeah, he's huge.
But better.
And he's also a way better wrestler than him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, toward the end, like he wasn't looking bad when he was in WWE. Then they cut him. Yeah,
well, he's not cut. He's still there.
Is he? That's even worse. I thought he was cut because he just hasn't shown up.
No, he's been in WWE the entire time. It's just he's been off TV and not anywhere.
Gotcha.
It's the conspiracy that Triple H hates black people.
Oh, that's stupid shit. Yeah.
Did he? Didn't he wrestle in some other? Maybe that's what made me think he left or something. But didn't he wrestle in a different promotion?
He wrestled in Japan for a little bit there.
Okay. Maybe, yeah, that makes more sense. Maybe that's what I was thinking then. I was like, I didn't realize he left. And that's what made me think, maybe they let him go.
I think it's because people are still getting used to the idea that WWE is like letting some of their wrestlers go wrestle in other places. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's still like that's a new concept, really.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I kind of had a pretty good idea for him, actually. And then I'll get off the wrestling stuff real quick. But I was thinking the other day, like, I think I was watching Raw actually last night. And I'm like, it'd be cool is if he got into the New Day and he was like their fucking bodyguard. Like the heel New Day right now. Because I still feel like something's missing from them because it's two small guys. And it's like, we're badass. And it's like, you guys aren't actually that badass. You're pretty small.
You play video games, nerds.
Hey, you guys are dorks. You dressed as Saiyans once, and even I know that.
They're not dorks anymore. They're just mad.
Yeah.
They need Omos. They need like a big dude to like just make them a real threat.
They need a heater.
Yeah, they need a heater, brother. Mm-hmm. But 6 Feet Under is pretty entertaining podcast because it's like sometimes they get stories of like you get so many crazy stories like Undertaker's talking about playing with like all-star basketball players in Texas when he's like 20 or something before he gets into wrestling. Because I don't know, that's something that happens around where he lived at. There's some kind of gym or whatever where like all these basketball legends from like the 70s or 80s are like playing basketball there. It's like, what the fuck? And he just never talks about it because he used to never talk about anything. I think the one that caught me off guard was anytime Midian was on there or Phineas I. Godwin. Pig. That dude is insane. Oh my god. He is like ADHD personified. But the problem is, it's like that's all enhanced by all the drugs he does.
And probably all the CTE.
CTE is real, brother, is a joke on that podcast. And it's funny every time it happens. Because Undertaker's like in the middle of telling some story. He's like, and then his co-host goes, CTE is real, brother. And he's like, yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. But I can't even begin to describe what this dude's like. He is just like a total character. And I was like, this dude needs his own show or something. Somebody needs to produce this guy because he is so off the rails. And then I watched Paranoia Agent. I finished it, actually.
Hell yeah.
I watched like first 6 episodes a few days ago, and then I watched the last 6 in the last couple days. Pretty cool. I've never watched it all the way through, so I got to see all kinds of things I didn't know would happen in that anime. Really interesting, and it was about like it did some things I didn't really expect out of it, or like I don't know. I feel like the whole thing is like this commentary on like Japanese society, or maybe bad aspects of it, work culture.
I think that's right. That sounds good.
Yeah, and like not in more broad aspects of like human society, I guess. It's funny because if you try to read like a blurb on it online, like what's this anime about? It says the effects of repression on like and how it can damage the human soul. I'm like, you can kind of say it's about that, but it's about way more than that. I think that's one aspect of it. It ends in a crazy way, and I can't even begin to talk about it because I don't know. I know it's old and shit. It's like a 20-year-old anime. So no, just go watch it. Recommend. And I've been playing video games a lot. I've been playing WWE 2K25 off and on between playing other games. I started the My Rise mode in it, which is like the story mode. It's pretty interesting this time. There's like basically NXT becomes the NWO. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
And then like basically the thing is that's different about this though is like everybody that used to be in NXT joins up. And like at this point in time, that's a lot of the roster. You know, the majority of the roster is like filled with people that used to be in NXT at some point.
Yeah.
You got that going on, and they're doing stuff like stealing belts, trying to destroy the WWE archives. You get to have a cool street fight in that warehouse, actually. That's like a backstage brawl area in the game, and it's really cool. Pretty fun story so far. I'll see it all the way through this time, I think. I've been playing Ocarina of Time still. I'm enjoying that. I finally traveled to the future, and I stopped there after I got there. I have to get back to playing it. And I've been playing Stellar Blade on the side as well. I'm getting pretty good into that. I gotta say, I really dig the vibe of that game. It has a really cool vibe. I hear things like, "Oh, it's like Nier. It's inspired by Nier." So it's like, I guess I need to try playing Nier. If it's like this game is. Love the music in that game. The music is awesome. It's like every piece of music for like a big area in the game is like prime anime outro music, but that's like the backdrop of like the level you're in. But really cool though. I'm digging the game a lot. I guess I'll have more to say about it in detail later, like when I finish it or something. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I did though.
Okay, well, I'm going to go next for no reason whatsoever. But I don't have a lot to say. I don't think I've played Ocarina of Time all week, even though I meant to. I need to because Zach's going to catch me soon. I'm in the Fire Temple, so I'm not that far ahead of him. I've just been watching Star Trek Voyager and painting minis nonstop. I'm painting a ton of minis. I don't know why. I'm just real into this right now, and it's really just scratching that autism itch that I have for some reason. Yeah. I love it.
You art nerd.
But yeah, I've watched a bunch of Star Trek Voyager. I'm on episode 20 of season 3. I like the show a lot. I don't know if it's going to dethrone DS9, but It is a cool show. There are several episodes where I've been like, like, whoa, that was really good. There's a Ponfar episode, which is hilarious. I know there's a bunch of really good Doctor episodes, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like I heard at some point that a lot of fans, their least favorite character is Tuvok, the Vulcan. He's one of my favorite characters. He's great.
No, he's amazing.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm misremembering something I heard or something. But a lot of the best episodes have to do with him. There's an episode called Meld where he's investigating a murder, and the guy he's investigating is played by Brad Dourif, and it's like one of the best episodes of Star Trek I've ever seen. Period. That episode is really fucking good. And then it was so good they brought Brad Dourif back for 2 more episodes, and they're the season finale of season 2. And then the first episode of season 3 is like a cliffhanger. And those are all really good episodes too. Like a bunch of outrageous stuff happens, and the people are put off the ship, and it's I don't want to spoil or anything, but it's basically just the Doctor and Brad Dourif for a moment on the ship. It's really interesting. But I've been having a lot of fun with that series. It's great. It's a lot of real interesting characters, and they're all being developed in really fun ways. And then I watched the Bahrain Grand Prix, but we already talked about that, so no reason to go over that again. Dubs, you're what's left. Take us home.
Okay. I'm getting out of my funk because I said last week I was in a funk and I just didn't do anything. I have a mini vacation, because WrestleMania is happening this weekend. So I'm probably gonna. You guys are like already fucking deep into Ocarina, but I'm actually gonna fucking start Ocarina this weekend and hopefully get a good chunk of it done. I'll probably play during WrestleMania, just because in my opinion, I think some of the show I could be like, I'm okay with the card, but isn't
it going to be 9 hours? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's two nights.
2 nights.
Yeah, still, that's 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Christ alive, that's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
Shit, you think that's bad? Watch one of these AEW shows where they decide we're going to have like a loaded ass card in one night.
No.
Oh yeah, that was like
I won't
15 matches in one night.
Or those insane New Japan shows where they're like, this is like 6 hours, 6+ hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This year, I'm like, I don't know if it's because there's no hype behind, finishing the story, but I'm just kind of like, okay, it's all right. I mean, I'm still excited to see John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in the triple threat match between Punk, Reigns, and Seth Rollins. But the other, I'm just like, all right, we'll see what happens. Usually when you don't expect something to be good, it's usually good. So
they fixed the Jay Gunther match. I think they fixed the build in that pretty quickly, like in the last couple of weeks.
Killed my brother.
That shit was good, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll get into that, but I do a thing when I'm in a funk where I just fucking write shit down. So I wrote I still haven't finished it, but I wrote 7 pages of like a Superman issue, my own Superman issue, where Clark Kent gets transferred to sports section in his job, and he's covering the Metropolis's Meteor baseball team. I got like inspiration from the Take Me Out to the Holosuite, so I was like, I'm gonna do something with Superman, and he's like trashing this pitcher, pretty much, saying that he's not good, and that they should like consider putting him down to the minors, and he's being sponsored, this pitcher, by Lex Luthor, and they're using and they out of nowhere this pitcher got really good. And he started pitching really well, and Luthor used some type of tech, something that is possibly going to be illegal in the league. And to the point where they were just like, all right, Clark Kent, why don't you pitch some baseball games? And so he went to one of the minor league games and pitched, and he couldn't show his true potential, but he was throwing around 97 miles per hour. And people were just amazed by it, and that's all I'm up to at this point. This
sounds like a really good Silver Age issue.
I was going to say, this sounds like an old story, actually.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
What if Superman plays baseball?
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, I don't know what villain will attack. I don't know if I want to have Brainiac or something, or I don't know, some fucking Lex Luthor bot, whatever.
Ultra Humanite, whatever the monkey is. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Gorilla Grodd?
Gorilla Grodd. There's a couple of them. That's what's so confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and then after I wrote that...
Can we please have Gorilla Grodd show up with a bunch of mutant monkeys and challenge them to a baseball game?
I'll fucking put it in there.
There you go. There's your story.
There you go.
After that, I watched the Christopher Reeves Batman movies, Superman movies.
Alternate dimension.
Yep. And I fucking like them still. I think they're
good up to two.
Yes. And also because I wanted to see Gene Hackman again in a movie, even though I should have picked a better Gene Hackman movie. But and then I watched a bunch of baseball because it's baseball season and my Mets are doing well and I'm happy. And my Rangers suck. And I kind of want to fucking say, hey, Ranger players, go fuck yourself. Because Sam Rosen, who is the play-by-play, is retiring this season. I think tomorrow will be his last game of the season. And you guys absolutely did shit for Sam Rosen. He's been with this team for a really long fucking time. Literally my whole life. I've listened to his voice do play-by-play for couldn't fucking make the playoffs. You know what? I hope you get injured, all you players, and you never play hockey again and you fucking get depressed. Sorry.
Well, you know what? Why don't you go play hockey?
Yeah, all right, I will.
So I play NHL. Xbox.
Yeah, I'll play you in NHL 25. Let's go. Yeah, fuck that game. Anyway, my tism just came out. That's all I've done.
Well, all right. Well, that means we're gonna put a bow on this one. Again, this is McConaughey, so make sure you go watch The Gentleman. It's a new movie, 2019, right? Gentlemen,
that's right.
2019. Watch it for next week and come back to the same place. And make sure you like and comment and subscribe and follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere that you get fine quality podcast products. You'll find us, and also YouTube, of course, if you want to gaze upon our glorious faces. And don't forget to leave a comment and tell us what we're doing wrong so we can ignore it. We'd appreciate that very much. Thank you. Well, have a good one. Thanks for listening.
All right.